Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. It's TPM5 here, back again with another NBA video. In today's video, I'm going to be previewing the Atlanta Hawks offseason, talk about some trade rumors, some draftees, and also look at their free agency and also their salary cap situation for the future. And just basically talk about all things Hawks for the next 5 minutes. Without further ado, let's get started. Throughout the first 34 games of the year, the Atlanta Hawks had a 14-20 record, and then in came Nate McMillan, and he changed the whole dynamic. The team finished with a 41-31 record and upset the Philadelphia 76ers in the second round to make it to the conference finals, and lost in 6 games, which was a very competitive mark considering the fact that no one was expecting this from the Atlanta Hawks before the year had began. Now they have a few key players entering free agency, which we'll touch on in literally 30 seconds. And also, there's been some trade rumors surrounding a couple guys in this team as well, so we'll also delve into that a bit later as well. But we have to just take a moment to acknowledge, Nate McMillan has made changes here at this team, and I think that they can continue to build and grow on the momentum they had. But just a quick break, guys. I make NBA content 2 or 3 times a week, and I've been doing these previews daily, so if you'd like to subscribe, it would help me out a lot. And if you would like to continue, anyone that's continuing watching, thank you guys for that, and anyone that wants to join in, if you don't mind, that'd be great. But let's continue. And we've got the salary cap table here, and the Atlanta Hawks relatively flexible when it comes to their salary cap. Now, Danilo Galinari is making $21.4 million in 2023, which is the last year of his deal. Now, the Minnesota Timberwolves have been interested in him, so again, trade rumors that I'll talk about in a little bit. Then Bogdan Bogdanovich, who had a relatively good year, added some depth to this team, is on $18 million for the next 3 years until 2024. So a pretty good deal there as well for him, and a player that can come in and do something for them now. They have Clint Capella on a very good deal until 2023, in where he'll make $18.2 million. Then Tony Snell and Lou Williams come off the books, and then John Collins is going to enter restricted free agency as the Atlanta Hawks sent a qualifying offer. Now we'll talk about his value in a little bit, and then Trae Young is on his rookie scale deal until 2022. So it gives the Hawks some flexibility in this offseason to go out and make a splash, because they can go over the bird rights for him. Now, Onyeka Okongwu is going to be out for the next 6 months, so it's a shame for that because they're going to be missing some depth at the center spot. But let's get into their free agency now. John Collins and also Kevin Huerter are going to be free agents, and Young and Huerter are going to be on rookie scale extensions, and then John Collins will enter restricted free agency. So it's going to be very interesting to see how other teams value John Collins, considering that at one point the Hawks did want to trade him, but then he became pretty important to them in their playoffs push. Now I think personally that he's probably worth somewhere in the ballpark of 18 to 24 million. Now if you have any Hawks fans, if you want to tell me about his impact, how much you think he's worth, and what the limit should be for you guys before you don't match the offer, then feel free to. But I think that considering he's a pretty key part of the team, I think they should try and bring him back, unless say Detroit offers him $30 million a year, which I think is unlikely. But I think that they should be okay to get him, and there's a lot of a lack of top level talent in this free agency class. So I think that you might want to prevent do a bit of damage prevention, because there's no guarantee you should be able to get a replacement for him. But I think that he's someone they should definitely look to bring back, and it will just be a question of how much they do. I think that he's a very important player for them, and will continue. So Danilo Galinari, as I've mentioned a couple times now, has been linked with a trade. Now the Timberwolves are pursuing him. He's on a relatively it's an okay deal for about 20 million or so for the next 2 years. If you can get out of that, and get someone who's on a better deal, then I think that's something the Atlanta Hawks should pursue. Now, what they can get from the Timberwolves depends. I think that obviously they're set at the point guard spot. I think that Bogdan Bogdanovich and Huerter, the shooting guard spots mainly are good. I think that if they could bring a small forward back or a backup center, that would be good. But I'm not really sure what if it's worth doing that, considering that Gallinari can spend minutes at small forward anyway. I think that keeping the veteran presence on this team would make sense. I don't think, unless Minnesota pay over the odds for him and trade way too much value, I don't think that's something that's going to happen. So yeah, anyways. Now, if they decide not to, if they decide to make some changes, I think Oladipo is an interesting player. Now, obviously, he's expected to go back to Miami, but just in terms of fits in the backcourt, he's a very good defensive player that can probably give you 16 points per game a night on relatively good efficiency. And he does offer, a very good defensive presence. Trae Young has to do a lot on the offensive side of the floor, so you can kind of excuse him for some of his flaws on that end. But I think, getting a defensive-minded guy like that to add to this roster would be good, and it would suit Clint Capella and also Nate McMillan's playstyle. But that's my matter of opinion. It's unlikely, but someone in that mold that can kind of help cover up Trae's deficiencies, as he has a lot of responsibility on offense, would be someone worth looking at. But I think this team, can just rely on some internal development, and that'll probably be about it. They're going to get better continuously. But yeah, that's the end of the video, guys. Please don't forget to comment and also like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.